Florida homeowners, it's not a question of if, but when the next hurricane will come. No matter what Florida weather has in store, Storm Smart has products that protect every opening of your home while improving the look, feel, and function. From durable aluminum shutters, high-impact windows and doors, to our innovative storm catcher screens, products that enhance the beauty of your home and keep your family safe. Because smart is complete hurricane protection, and smart is peace of mind. Call Storm Smart today for your free in-home consultation.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with the Generac Home Standby Generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
We've got some clouds out there, even a couple of sprinkles as another front rolls through the area. Most of us wake up to sunshine and then very warm temperatures in the afternoon. For temperatures, they're going up and they're staying up. Really nice forecast, especially if you're planning on going to the beach or the pool. Rain chances very slim. Another beautiful day in store. It's going to bring us a very high chance of storms. Some isolated showers across the area. Mother Nature likes to remind us that it isn't set by a calendar. We're always on it for you just in case things begin to pop.
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Sponsored by Storm Smart. Protect every opening of your home with Storm Smart. And by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Tuesday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. The weather kind of quiet, comparatively speaking, although I was getting messages from a lot of folks in Tampa around 5-ish, saying, oh, really big storms, lots of wind. In fact, I think the message was, Dennis, you didn't predict a hurricane, because that's exactly what we have right now. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The weather will be changing as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about, well, we'll talk a lot about that, obviously. But since this is my first day back in a week and a half, I wanted to kind of go over some of the specifics that are coming up in the next few weeks, specifically about the broadcast debut of DPL. I still say that, and it just makes me laugh. Again, you guys know the story. We've been doing this for, we've been doing these chats for almost 20 years. And for about 15 of them, I'm like, I really think, we should probably try to do something with these, because I bet we might be able to get some sponsors and we could have some fun, a lot of viewers. And, the old regime was kind of like, I don't think it would work. And then slowly but surely, it just kind of turned into, well, yeah, streaming is a thing and social media is a thing. And now all of a sudden we've got 2 million followers, and during a hurricane and during rough weather, we get a lot of people. So I am so appreciative of all of y'all over the years, showing the loyalty, showing the support, giving your feedback. I see Prudy was in here. I had a meet and greet last night, and Prudy came by with her lovely daughter to say hello. And it's just great. It's the camaraderie, and I get it, because when we do what we do here and we talk about the weather and talk about whatever, which today we're going to talk a lot about, a lot of different things. And by the way, the reason I'm wearing this retro, old school OG sweatshirt is not because I'm trying to go OG. It's because I brought my sweatshirt home for my days off, and I've left it sitting at home, so I forgot it. So I've got, this is the original. This is the OG sweatshirt. This is our first logo. Oh, I dropped my mic. Stand by. I don't know if you guys have told me that I dropped my mic, but I dropped my mic. Anyway, this is the original Rule Number 7 logo that we had years ago. And that leads to another thing, and I will address that one right now. So we're in the process of finding a new distributor for the sweatshirts and whatnot. We're keeping our same distributors for mugs and tumblers and all that, because those are great. And I've been seeing some of them. Matter of fact, last night at the meet and greet, someone brought the little Dennis Phillips mug. It was great quality. I'd never seen these before, because we don't make them. We created them and then send it off to somebody. We used to make them back in my dining room. And I would do all the shipping, and Ryan would make pictures, and we would put them in there. But it just got to be too big. And we figured the more that we make, the more we can donate. So it kind of went hand in hand. Now, granted, because we have to pay someone to print them, it costs more, but it keeps my sanity, which is a plus. So, and including my family's, probably more so because it's a plus. So at the end of the day, we're keeping the same printer for that, but the merchandise has been a real issue, and I'm not even going to get into it, but the printer, the third-party printer that we used, they were great for years, but they were one of the biggest in the U.S., but they have run into massive issues. Not printing stuff, not shipping them out, not doing what they said they were going to do, and it's been a nightmare. And I cannot tell you how many messages I've responded to and talked to people to tell them about what's going on with it. So we are shifting our merchandise to another source. We think we've got it set, but we're not 100% sure yet. We're still working on it. And then what we're going to do is have it all on one website. So you won't have to go to Etsy anymore, because every time you buy something from Etsy, they take a cut, which means there's less money to the charities. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go directly through the web page, and then that way we'll avoid having to pay the Etsy charges. So that's kind of, and then more money for Feeding Tampa Bay, and more money for Children's Miracle Network, and more money for Suncoast Animal League and Sunshine Foundation and the other charities that we work with. So that's coming up really, really soon. We've been dragging our feet a little bit, not intentionally, but there's just been so many things going on. And so that's happening very soon. And we have, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. We usually do lots and lots of hellos, but we do have lots to talk about. So another thing, you guys have heard many times that we have a new station, The Spot, Channel 66, that's going to be carrying all the Lightning preseason games, all the Lightning regular season games, all the Lightning first round of the playoffs. The question is, where will that channel be seen? Is it on cable? Will it be on Spectrum? Don't know yet. If I were a gambling or a betting man, I would say it's probably going to happen at some point, but I'm not privy to any information. I just can't imagine it not being on cable. But I don't know. We'll find out. When they tell me, I'll tell you. But it'll be, you know, we're shooting, I'm guessing their negotiations are going on for all different sources, right? But at the end of the day, that starts July 1st. And that's when DPL will also be on broadcast, which means a lot of people have asked this question. We are still going to be on streaming. We're still going to be on Facebook. We're still going to be right here where we are right now. The difference is there will also be, DPL will be running on broadcast TV, so there will be commercial breaks for that program. Now, you guys, it's not going to look any different, hopefully. I mean, as long as I can keep all these buttons pressed right, and I got a new computer over here now that gives me the commercial break times. So I'm just waiting for some kind of there's going to be some, I mean, what do they always say? You know, people like to watch a train wreck or whatever. I have a feeling I'm going to be a train wreck at some point. It's probably all going to blow up in my face. We'll find out. But point is, that's happening July 1st. Now, my daughter has a softball tournament in Panama City the second week in July, and I've really been torn. Might be one of her last, if not her last, softball tournaments. Ryan, as you guys have probably seen on social media, loves being in front of an audience. The whole karaoke thing was not my idea. I was like, no. It's like, Daddy, please. No. Daddy, please. No. Okay. I mean, you guys know. If you have a daughter, you know. You just do. And so she loves being in front of a crowd. So she's going to take her focus, I think, on drama and singing for a period of time, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. Will she go back to softball? She can't. I don't think she can do both. I just think it's too much. To the depth that she wants to do it, I think it's going to take a lot more than there's time for both travel ball and for training, because she's jumping in feet first. So we'll see. But my point is, second week in July is her last softball tournament. And at this point, it's in Panama City, and I was thinking, I don't want to miss DPL for that first week. But a lot of people at the station is like, look, it's your daughter's last softball tournament. You can't miss that. You just can't. It's, you will regret that. whether she's mad at you or not is another story. You will regret missing that. And I think you guys know my relationship with my family. You guys know how I am with my kids. I think you know I would probably feel the same way. So, with that being said, I think Greg D will be here for that week if I do indeed decide to go up to her World Series tournament in Panama City. And Greg D will be running. So we will have a GDL for a week. There will be times where there is a JAL for Jason Adams. There will be a time where it's an ABL with Allie Blake. There will be an SRL, although Shay is not real thrilled with the idea. It's not that she doesn't like doing this. I think all the buttons and everything, that's kind of intimidating. But it's really, if I can do it, anybody can. You guys know that. So anyway, Greg will be doing that if I decide to go ahead and go second week in July. And then we're just getting this out of the way, and then we're going to jump in and do some weather. There's not a lot going on. You guys know this. The tropics, we do have a tropical storm. But we have someone in Idaho here. Harold in Idaho. How you doing? So July 20, so we had our meet and greet yesterday. We had a meet and greet at Lucan's on Sunday. Thanks for coming out. Everybody who came out, nice crowd. It was a lot of fun. July 24th, Clearwater Threshers game. All right? We're going to have a Rule Number 7 night. All right? So you can get your tickets now. You go to Clearwater Threshers, or I'm not sure what the website is. Google Clearwater Threshers, Threshers Baseball. I'm not sure. But let me tell you, minor league baseball is the best deal out there. It's like $3 to get in. Or, I mean, it's some ridiculously cheap thing, and it's so much fun. We go all the time. We love going to the Threshers game. They're great. It's a lot of fun, and the food really good and really inexpensive. So anyway, July 24th, Thursday night, we are going to have my daughter Ryan is going to be singing the national anthem. I will be throwing out the first pitch. And we are going to have even if it's not official, I'm going to have a Rule Number 7th inning stretch, which I love that name. Come on, Rule Number 7th inning stretch. That is a great name. So even if we're not officially, we're going to have all of us together, putting our arms around each other and singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," because that's what I always do with my kids. That is a family tradition with our family. You got all 6 kids out there. "Take Me Out in the Ball Game" comes out, arms around each other, and we all sing it. 1, 2, 3 strike. That will happen. Even if it's over in the Tiki area where we're going to be doing our meet and greet stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thursday, July 24th, the Threshers game. And I just got the email today from the Rays verifying that I'm going to be throwing out the first pitch Sunday, August 3rd, when the Rays are taking on the Dodgers. Game starts at 12:10. RaysBaseball.com. My guess is that game will be sold out. I have no doubt that game will be sold out just because it's the Dodgers. And I'm sure a lot of people want to see Shohei Ohtani. I'm going on Friday and Saturday to see Shohei Ohtani. And, the Rays are the hottest, one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in baseball the last 30 games. They've been on fire. So that's going to happen on Sunday, August 3rd. And I'm kind of excited about that as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We got more meet and greets coming up. And hopefully we won't have too much weather to talk about. But that is all of the things that are going on. And since I've been gone for the last week and a half, I figured I would let you in on what's going on. A lot of you guys are saying go to the tournament. Yeah, I mean, I just, family first. I mean, but you guys know my work ethic. You guys do, because during hurricane season, I update 24/7. I mean, it's my dad in me. My dad was the same way, and he instilled that in me. But family is also even bigger. And Shay Ryan said, she's like, "Dennis, you'll be gone a week. Nobody will notice." She didn't mean it bad, but it's true. I mean, if there's nothing going on, but she goes, "Your daughter will notice if you're not there." And you know what? That struck me. I mean, it really did. And I think she was right on the money. So anyway, so that's what's going on. All right. I think we covered everything. Had a great time on the cruise. I gave some updates during it. I thought it was fun that I could do live updates if the Wi-Fi was strong enough to do live updates from the weather and give updates on that. A lot of people have messaged me. Cruising is a big thing out of Florida. Whether you're in Port Canaveral, whether you're in Miami, whether you're in Tampa, there's a lot of cruisers out there. And people have their favorites. Flat out, people have their favorites. And I think people have their favorites for different reasons. So, I gave my honest opinion about what I thought. I've gone on Royal. I've loved it. I've loved Royal. I've gone on Carnival. I've had a great time on Carnival. Margaritaville at Sea, I loved it. I did. I enjoyed the ship. The rates are significantly lower than some of the other cruise lines that I've gone on. And, but I'm not a high maintenance kind of guy when it comes to vacations. I mean, if there's people out there who want higher end stuff and you're going to pay for it, the bigger ships and whatnot, hey, that's awesome. But for me, I enjoyed it, and the rooms were beautiful. Everybody's got things that don't work sometimes, but that never really was an issue with me, and we had a great time. So the question is, would I cruise with them again? Absolutely. I've already done it twice, and I absolutely would do it again. And will I cruise in other places? I will. And we enjoy cruising, and we didn't get sick. We didn't get sick this time, which I went on one with another line, and we all got norovirus, and it was a nightmare. So everything went well. All right, there you go. That's kind of all the stuff going on. Let us jump in. I will do some hellos and stuff in a minute, but there is a look at radar, and things are, boy, they're done. They're done for the night. We had some rain come in, and it moved through most of Pinellas County. There's the line as it moved through. Some pretty decent rains. So that started and it moved through Tampa. I got a buddy of mine, big Bolts fan, Sean Wolf. He's on, I say buddy, mostly buddy just on Facebook because he's followed me for a long time and we've chatted. But yeah, Bridget, there have been some people who asked about a DPL cruise. I just don't know if that could ever happen. I just don't think that could happen. I don't know. I don't think I could handle that. Boy, I would love to go on an Alaska cruise. That's one thing I've never done, Sandy. Never done it. I would love to do it. So anyway, there's a look at the rain. Sean said it was a hurricane blowing around 5 o'clock in Tampa. Would have only lasted about 10 minutes based on how fast it's moving through. And then we had some heavy rain from around, Dunedin, south of Dunedin through Clearwater. And now it's over. I mean, 7 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. How you doing, Terry? So who will be out of town for both of those? Bridget, will you be out of town? Is that what you said? Or is there somebody else going to be out of town? There's the rainfall totals. So how long for the first several months of the year and into the rainy season, we had a westerly flow. And that westerly flow brought the storms inland and eventually to the East Coast, which is why there's very little drought at all over on the East Coast right now because they got all the rain. And about 2-3 weeks ago, we started to see a pattern change, and we've had more of an east-southeast wind. And that's why the rain totals, as you see here, have at least come back toward the coast. And this is only the last 24 hours. You go back the last 7 days, 10 days, the numbers have been impressive. They've been really good. Well, starting on Friday, I think we are going to see everything going back to a west to southwest flow for a few days at least, and we'll touch on that in just a second. David in North Georgia, how you doing? Gail's like saying we would love a DPL cruise. It would be fun. I mean, it would be fun, but I don't even know the logistics how we would do that. Thank you, Diane. So there's a look at some of the rainfall totals in the last 24 hours. Bridget, you're going to be out of town. Gotcha. Annie, how you doing? Good to see you. Temperatures right now in the mid-80s. We're going to talk tropics in just a minute. Yeah, Chrissy, and that is a thing. I mean, some people, DPL means Dennis Phillips Live, Ellen. Dennis Phillips Live. So that is a thing for some people. Some people get seasick. And I would say, well, Renee, can't imagine anybody would say it wouldn't rain in Pinellas County today. I'm not sure where you would hear that, because anybody who says, oh, it's not going to rain in a certain county in the rainy season, that's a gutsy move, and one that will blow up in your face 9 times out of 10. So I'm not sure where you heard it, but I do not believe it was on ABC Action News. Now, I was off, but I can't believe Greg would have said that because, again, we're in the rainy season. Why would we say? I don't think we said that. But anyway, asking about so yeah, cruise ships that go. that go out of Tampa are smaller. They have to fit under the Skyway. It's that simple. And the one that I went on, the Islander, only cleared it by about 30 or 40 feet. It was close, right? So you can't get them any bigger. So that's why the big ships, the ones that you've probably seen, the Icon and the Allure of the Seas and the Harmony and the Symphony, which I've done, 2 of those, the Harmony and the Symphony, great ships, blast. They're big, big ships. Usually the bigger ships, you're not going to get a seasick because they're bigger ships and they handle the waves better. The smaller ones, you might feel it. So that is definitely something for cruisers to keep in mind. They have those patches that you use, and my daughter used to always use them, and they worked great for her because she used to get seasick. And they would, you put it behind your ear, and you see people walk around that little patch, and it lasts for 3 days, and it's supposed to keep you from getting nauseous. Now, I always wondered if you could use those at amusement parks. I always wondered if you could use, I've never done it, but I always wondered if you get nauseous going on the 3D rides. Like, we're a big Disney and Universal family, but some of those ones make me a little nauseous, and I wonder if you could put them on, if that would keep you from getting seasick, like on the Spider-Man ride, the 3D one, or the Harry Potter ride in Islands of Adventure. Or is it Universal? No, Islands of Adventure, yeah. Would that make you sick? So, I don't know. I've thought about it. It seems like it would make sense. It's the same premise why you would get motion sickness. Anyway, let's go back. So, Jody, it's still hidden. I would love to know why your messages are hiding. I'm telling you, it's not from me. So I don't know what's going on. I still don't know why it's doing it. Anyway, highs today in the mid-90s. Right now, outside, 85, partly cloudy. The winds are calm. The dew point in the middle 70s. It isn't Dramamine, Kevin. It is a prescription. You got to get it from your doctor. The patches that I'm thinking about are prescriptions. Bob, Bob ran into me in Key West. I do remember that. Yep. I will say that there was something to that. So that cruise ship was out of Tampa. I probably did 500 selfies, and I loved every one of them. I mean, people are always saying, oh, I don't want to bother you. It's never a bother, ever. And we were having that discussion. Like, look, I'm just a weather guy, right? I mean, I love the interaction. I love people coming up and saying hi. You know how open I am with my family life and our Christmas lights and everything. So when people come up to me, a lot of them are like, oh, I'm sorry. Why would you apologize? It's the greatest thing in the world. It's so kind and it's so flattering, and I love it. I love to meet everybody. When I do my meet and greets, it gets stacked up because I sit and talk to people. I mean, we'll talk. It isn't just, hi, how you doing, get a picture, gone. No, there's a conversation going, and that's why the lines usually last so long. But I enjoy doing it. And I often wondered, like a real star, like real stars, and you always hear sometimes some of them who just don't appreciate the people coming up to them, and I don't get that. I mean, I've never been in their shoes, so maybe I don't know, but it just seems like the people who have made you who you are as a TV star, a movie star, whatever, whoever it is, I don't know. I'm surprised by that. But I guess some people really treasure their privacy and it's important to them. But I just think if what we do in the public eye, and we do it because we enjoy being in the public eye, to me it seems kind of hypocritical not to want people to come up and talk to you. But anyway, that's just me. Okay, thank you. Yeah, scopolamine is what Bridget said. Oh, look, Cruise Mike. I did not get mistaken for Cruise Mike, but someone did say, "Are you Cruise Mike?" They were joking, but so there was at least one person that said that. But yeah, we did a ton of selfies, and it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to currents. No, Ron Burgundy's kind of a big deal now, Michael, as the reference. But no, I'm just a weather guy. I love what I do. I'm blessed to do what I do. I love the people that are out there, and so I'm just every day I get to do this. I wake up and I'm surprised. I really am. I saw that. I saw about Bobby Sherman, Linda. I did see that. All right, so no rain officially at the airport today, at least not that I saw. We'll see if maybe it updates. But, a couple weeks ago, 2.5 inches below average. Now it's just over 1, so we've made up a little ground. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Jill. So there's Futurecast tomorrow, and it will be similar to today. However, there's a little bit of a difference coming in tomorrow, and let me explain what that is as we finally get into weather 55 minutes into this. Upper level low is going to cut across the state. Upper level low is a pocket of cold air, all right? That pocket of cold air usually creates the kind of instability that can create severe storms. So, and potentially some hail. Hail is very difficult to get in July and August, but we're not quite there yet, especially with that cold air aloft. A lot of times it's so warm, the hail melts before actually making it down. But again, point is, there will be the possibility of a few stronger storms tomorrow and Thursday and into Friday as that upper level low moves across the state. Now here's where it changes. By Friday into the weekend, the ridge settles back down south. I'll show you that in the maps in a second. And that will give us a southwest flow, an onshore flow, which means we'll start to see morning showers along the coast again, starting Friday into the weekend. But it also means the heaviest rains will push inland. So we're back to that pattern Saturday into early next week. All right? Yeah, and Renee, there was hail yesterday. Actually, people did message me. They sent me pictures of some hail. It wasn't huge, pea-size hail yesterday across the area. All right, there's a look at Wednesday. Here's Thursday. And notice by the weekend, I want you to see where the darker green is. Look at Friday into Saturday. The darker green moves inland as the flow turns southwest. See that? And that means southwest winds, heavier rains inland. Notice by early next week, that is not cooler air per se, but if we get a southwest flow and we get clouds earlier in the day, that will keep afternoon highs down because we're going to get rain and showers earlier in the day. That's what the models are looking at. I think they're overplaying it. I don't think we're going to see mid to upper 80s, but we could, mid 80s. We could still go upper 80s, I think. Let's see if Andrea is still a thing, because we do have the season's first named storm, and it is Andrea. And as of, let me see if they've issued the last advisory on it yet. I do not see an 8 o'clock update on it yet. So at this point, yeah, we don't have an intermediate, so it would just come in at 11, I guess. But yeah, but expect it to become post-tropical remnant low later tonight. I find it fascinating that it was named at all. We'll get into that in a second. By the way, here's a look at the long range. This is something that is very rare. Look at the time frame. It's not rare to have no development, but I can't remember seeing this graphic saying no development is expected in the month of July. That is the Pacific and the Atlantic in that stretch. Now, July is historically a very quiet month in the Atlantic. But boy, this is July 2nd through July. So the first half of July 2nd to the 15th, and we're looking at nothing in the Atlantic. And as I said before, it would not surprise me one bit, if we get no name storms in the month of July, because it happened last year too. So looking at the tropics, here's the GFS long range. Remember when the GFS kept spinning up a hurricane over and over and over again, and I kept ridiculing anybody who posted it on social media? Well, now the GFS isn't even spinning anything up. So your friend and mine, the GFS, through the middle, hashtag cha-ching, through the middle of July has zero development at all, which of course probably means we'll get a Cat 5 then, because it was so wrong on the other ones. But the reality of it is, from now until the end of July, I would expect things to probably remain pretty quiet. Now, Hagen, you just brought up a good point, and we will touch on that in just a second, because I think you are right on the money with this. So streamers, we'll be back, and tomorrow we're going to be back with our buddy Mike from Mike's Weather Page. That's on DPL Plus. We'll see you tomorrow, streamers. Okay, how about that? Just threw that one in. Yeah, so we're gonna talk to Mike a little bit about yes, about Tropics, but also about how social media and how people get their information, how that has changed dramatically in the last 10 years. Mike was, believe it or not, part of our original chat group back in 2004. So I've been doing it for quite a while. But I think he's got a very interesting take, on how he does what he does. And, and there's some who love it and there's some who don't. Just the same with me and same as everybody else, right? Everybody's got their favorites. Everybody's got their ways of doing things. But I think it's a fascinating story about how I tell my kids, look, when talk about the American dream, you get somebody who's a hobbyist about something and turned it into a career, that's pretty awesome. And there's not a lot of people who can say that happens. So I think that's a really neat story, and we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow as well. So anyway, let's go back. So here's a look at the long-range GFS, which shows nothing. The euro, long-range euro. I put this over the States. You do look at the flow. It does go back to more of an easterly flow, I think, by next week. But look at all the moisture each day. Sunday afternoon, look at that, all right? Monday afternoon, there's your upper low. See your upper low right there? You're right there. Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's rainy season, guys. That is rainy season. And nothing developing. Although it's interesting because the Euro AI does actually spin a little something up at the end. Look at this. So let's go through this. This is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You get a front that drops down, and that might be very well why those models were saying a little cooler. The Euro AI is dropping a front down. And then look at the little area of low pressure off the coast of Georgia. Right there, middle of next week. And then look at the front that just kind of hangs out, right? And by not this weekend, but next weekend, look at the little bit of development that tries to develop along that front. That's the Euro AI. Now, again, it's 12, 13 days out. It's nonsense. But it is a little interesting, and because the Euro AI has done a really nice job last year, it will be interesting to see if it's onto something. So we will find out. All right, so let's go back and finish up what we're doing with the graphics here. So there is, I'll bring this over here. I'll zoom in here do I have to change the graphic? Actually, I gotta update the, I don't feel like, I can, I guess. I was gonna say, there it is, out in the middle of nowhere, right? Literally out in the middle of the ocean. So it ain't gonna bother anybody. Somebody was like, no, Dennis, you're wrong, because it is a danger to the shipping lanes, because do you remember the El Faro? And I go, no, you're wrong, Colonel Sanders. Mama's right, because the El Faro dealt with a Cat 4 hurricane. So Andrea is nothing more than a little thunderstorm, a swirl of clouds. Literally, it's all it is. So, yeah. That's something a lot of people always say. Oh, I didn't say bye. Yeah, I said bye to streamers. That's something a lot of people are surprised. I forgot my band button today. Oh, man. Yeah, Ryan, that's because of that upper level low. Ryan said they had us under a marginal risk of severe weather. That's because of the upper low cutting across. Because, again, pocket of cold air brings it for a possibility of gustier, stronger winds and maybe a little bit of hail. So that is why SPC did that. Bridget. Let's see. Yeah. Well, anyway, so but that's I would say that's the thing that surprises people. Like, there's a guy who runs a blog out there. It's, oh, you should never, argue with the people. Look, I get it. You don't want to be nasty with people, but why does somebody who posts their thoughts on their page on social media, why do we have to just be like, somebody else can say something that's blatantly incorrect or insulting, and we're just supposed to take the high road? That ain't me. I mean, look, I'm not going to argue for the sake of arguing, but if somebody says something that's incorrect or rude, I'm going to call them out on it, just like I would in person. So why would we not do that on social media? If somebody comes up to you and they're rude in person, more often than not, maybe, well, some people won't call them on it. I certainly do. So I don't know. My take is, if somebody, the interaction is okay as long as people aren't disrespectful. Hey, that's what social media is. You can disagree, but don't be surprised if you spew out some nonsense if I'm not going to come back and be like, no, you're wrong, and here's why, right? I mean, I don't think you have to always it's not always kumbaya and, always agree with everybody. What's the fun in that? Not to mention, be honest, how many of y'all out there love going through threads and reading when people are bickering? Or let me tell you, when the ban button comes out, you know as well as I do, there's like, ban them, ban them. I mean, there is that mob mentality, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it is a thing, and you know it is. So if there's people being rude or disrespectful, I don't put up with it. And if there's someone who's going to spew out something that's blatantly incorrect factually, I'm going to call them out for it too. And I'll go back and forth. And as long as there's conversation and it isn't name calling or whatever, nowadays there's a lot of that, then I'm all for it. And I know there are some people who have accused people of banning people just because they disagree with them. That ain't me. My disagreements on my page are very, very clear. And unless the person, like somebody a couple of days ago, I had to ban her because she's like said something, y'all are a bunch of weirdos. That's what she said. And I don't even remember why, but I'm like, no name calling. Bah, you're gone. So I don't know why people just can't have discussions and have to make it personal, right? But they do, and that's when the ban button comes out. Anyway, yes, I think it's hysterical. Theodore wants to see national temperatures. You know what, Theodore? Absolutely. Ask and ye shall receive. Let me find that map. Now, I will tell you, I have to look for it. And why is that? Because usually in local weather forecasts, the consultants, the all-knowing consultants, the ones that know everything, at least that's what they tell us that nobody wants to see national weather in a local newscast. That is what the consultants preach over and over again. Now, look, I see both sides to the argument. I do. I see both sides. But that is I'm looking for the map here. I'm trying to find it because I never use them, ever, because I'm trying to be a good boy and listen to the consultants. I'm going to see if Ryan is calling me. Hold on. Stand by. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, this is not Ryan. I'm still on DPL.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Bye. No, not Ryan. Wait a minute. I don't even see national temperatures. I know I have the map. Wait a minute, I'm going to find it for you because I know we have one, but I just have to find it. And that shows you just how often we use national maps because the consultants tell us they're no good. Hold on, temperatures maybe on here. Gosh. And see, we have all new graphics. We have all new graphics now. So here we go. There it is. We have all new graphics. So it's hard to find them. There. Oh man, it's gone. I shouldn't have. Stand by. Wait a minute. Is it gone on? No, it's still there. It's gone on my weather computer, but I think it's still there on this one. All right. Albuquerque. If you want to know, Albuquerque is 63 degrees right now. How about that? Oh, we are 6 months from Christmas Eve? Well, that's good news. I love to hear that. All right, there are your temperatures right there. So LSG, Lauren St. Germain, I believe is in Montana. I think that's where she is. She's somewhere out in the Rockies. So, you're going to run and get some sunset pictures? Mary, send them along. Cassie's son in Elgin, Illinois said the feels like temperature is hotter than it is in Florida. Well, right now, it looks like Illinois is in the 80s, although St. Louis is 92, Phoenix is 101. And New York is 95, and Boston is 96, so that is definitely quite a heat wave. Annie, I lived in L.A. I lived in L.A. before I was here. I did. I worked at KCBS before I was in Tampa. And there's a great story about how I ended up here. It's probably not one that I'm going to share on streaming, but it is a great story. And it involved drama, and it involved, it was, well, anyway. Let's just say it wasn't good for everybody, but and I had nothing to do with it. I was on the side of everything, but a change of regime brought me to Tampa from Los Angeles, I'll put it that way. And it actually, believe it or not, it actually boiled down to coming back from O.J. Simpson, if you can believe that. So craziness how things happen. But so the reality of it is the main reason that I'm in Tampa is because of O.J. Simpson. So go figure, right? That is a story. That is a story I share in person, not maybe on streaming, but it is a true story, believe it or not. So, is that everything? Let's see, looking else. Is that everything? I can't tell it. I can't tell it, Stephanie. I can't. But I'm not gonna let you guilt me into. I'm not gonna let you do what Ryan did. Dad, come on, let's do karaoke. No, Ryan, I don't want to do karaoke. Dad, come on, it'll be fun. No, Ryan, I don't want to humiliate myself. Dad, come on, nobody will. And I did. So there. No, I was not. No, Nancy, I was not. I was not driving the Bronco. But yes, it did get me. It did get me to Tampa. So I'm very, very lucky to have made it here. So, all right, guys. Well, tomorrow night, like I said, the plan is my buddy Mike is going to be on here, and we're going to answer questions. And you know, I'm gonna ask him legitimate questions. It's not just, you know, as they say, throwing softballs to people, because we've talked about how different people on social media portray potential weather, and if it's considered hype. If it's considered, you know, I think it's a good conversation. I really do. And I think it's a conversation that as we enter hurricane season is a very good conversation about what people are looking for, what they're not looking for, what the expectations are in getting accurate weather information from social media, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's broadcast TV, streaming, whatever the case may be. So that'll be tomorrow night. So you guys have a good night, and thanks for everything. Thanks for the comments while we were on vacation, and we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. You guys have a great night.